Hey folks, it's Nick Granville. So that was a little bit of Sweet Child of Mine with some messed up chords and stuff, and I played the solo gig last night, background music, and it was pretty clear to me that nobody was listening or giving a shit about anything I was playing, which was totally fine. You know, like that's the gig. So I decided I'd see if I could put Sweet Child of Mine in there and see if anybody noticed, and nobody noticed. And that's what I did. I started messing with some chords and substituting things, and I kind of went away from it, and I thought, I wish I'd recorded that because I had some good ideas in there. And I also did Hotel California and just sort of reharmonized it with stuff like... And that's a bit naughty, but I was like, why not? They were into it. Didn't matter what I played as long as it sounded nice and provided an ambience. Today I thought I'd talk about this guitar here, which is my AZ model. We say Z, AZ, you might say in the US, whatever. I've had this guitar for a long time, so I've done some modifications to it. I thought I'd talk you through what I did and why today. I saw a post the other day that Robin Ford put out about his PRS signature guitar and the modifications he'd done to it, and I thought, gee, you know, that's a signature guitar and he's modifying it. So I've always modified my guitars. I mean, these are not custom made for me, they're off-the-shelf standard things, so to get them to be the way I want them, I modify things, you know. They're working instruments. I'm a working musician. This is what I do. They've got to be able to fulfill a job. So, this guitar here, Ibanez AZ2204 model, fantastic guitar. I've changed some things on it, like I do with all my guitars. So I'll just talk about them. The first thing I did was I changed the wiring. I had this alt switch so you could do all kinds of combinations. I've just found I wasn't using it. Like the standard 5-way strat type thing, that suits me. So I just cut a little bit of a guitar pick and super glued it on there to cover over the hole. Looks fine, and you know, it kind of looks like a button. If someone said, hey, can you turn down? I'll go, sure. Press the button. Doesn't actually do anything. So I just wanted a simplified thing here. Just volume, tone, 5-way like a standard Stratocaster. Because I found that sometimes I'd have that switch up and I'd change pickups, and then something wasn't right, and I didn't realize that I still had it up when I was changing things. So just simplified, right? I changed the pickups, and the reason I changed the pickups is the pickups that there were Seymour Duncan's were perfectly fine. But these are Damasio areas, which are silent single coils. When I play this guitar, I play rock stuff. I only ever use it for that, right? Or funk stuff. Here, I'll go to my overdrive channel. So as you can hear, it's dead quiet. The preamp here I have hums a bit. This DBX thing is pretty noisy, so I've got a tube in it. Probably needs a new tube. But you can hear it's completely silent. It's actually quieter than a humbucker. And that's just because that's full gain. You can hear there's a little bit of hum on the humbucker, like, you know, it's minimal, but they're really quiet. So I wanted to swap to those. I would have gone to Mr. Glynn's, but he doesn't make any noiseless single coils, so these are Damasio areas, which are the best single coil noiseless pickups I've found so far. I prefer real single coils, who doesn't? But the pickups that were there were fine, but I wanted noiseless, because when I play this, it's like screaming rock loud, sometimes to funk stuff, I use it on theatre shows, all kinds of stuff. And so while I was at that, I changed the bridge humbucker too, because I just like Glynn's pickups. This is a Mr. Glynn, I think it's called an Integrity, plus 5%, so it's a little hotter. So it's a little hotter than a regular PAF, but barely. But it's not as hot as what was in there. The Seymour Duncan that was in there, I'm not sure, Hyperion I think it's called or something, was about 16k. This one is about 8.5, 10, 9, 10, somewhere around there. So it's much more usable, especially for a clean tone. So those are the things I did. And one thing that bugged me with this guitar was, I know people love the stainless steel frets. I didn't dig them. I heard this zinginess on the top of the notes. So I actually had this refretted. And people are going to go, why did you do that? I actually went with like similar frets like on this guitar, which are kind of medium vintagey style frets. They're not overly wide, and they're not overly tall, but a little bit. You know, medium height. I find the nickel frets sound better to me. It's what I'm used to. You know, old guitars that have nickel fret, the standard frets, that's what I'm used to. Stainless steel sounds really zingy in the top end to me. And it's not a sound that I particularly like. So I had them changed out by a guy in Wellington. And it came out much better, I think, you know. Yeah, the nut's still the same, tuners are the same. I have actually taken the string tree out here. I'm just running the strings over. It seems to still get enough break angle just on this string. The E string's probably the worst one, but I found that with the tremolo, now I get better tuning. I was finding that this was causing a little bit of like binding or something, so I just took that out. I know you can do various things, but the easiest way, just run it over the top. So I did that, and the other thing I did too was I actually changed the saddles on here, because these were titanium saddles, and I found the combination of stainless steel frets, titanium saddles, and the titanium block was just so zingy. So I changed these out. These are Gotos. I had to shave them down a little bit on the belt sander to get them to fit because they were too big, and one of them's even started rusting. I don't know if you can see that there. Whatever. Yeah, so, and now it's pretty much, I'm just going to leave it alone. It does its thing. It really works. So I use it for that sort of stuff, right? The rock kind of guitar stuff. So when I do like theatre shows, it's probably the guitar that I'll take most of the time. And this guitar here, maybe some combination, depends on the show. But most of the time those shows, it's really designed around a Stratocaster type guitar. So this is the one. So that's what I did. So new bridge pieces here. I've still got the original ones. I can always put them back on. New frets. I put vintagey style nickel standard frets. Change the pickups for noiseless, just because I prefer noiseless, and then simplified wiring. Everything else still the same. It's a great guitar. It's just a good working guitar. I really like the neck. It's it's pretty dark roasted, but it's big and thick and chunky. It's a big neck. It's not a 59 Les Paul big, but pretty big. Like most people see an Ibanez and they go, oh, it's going to have this thin shredder neck. In fact, someone even said this. The first time I took this to a gig, bass player looked at me and he goes, oh, you bought your shredder guitar. And I was like, this is me, man. I don't really shred. You know what I do. But I thought that was quite funny. Like, he saw the pointy headstock and it was the first thing he kind of thought of. But to me, it's like, yeah. What else would I change? Nothing really. That's it. It's now where I want it. And I do this with all my guitars. I mean, this one, it's had a bunch of mods. Maybe I could talk about that in a future video. This one, my 420, that's been modded. My 520, I've already made a video about. You know, modify your guitars. Make them work for you. I reckon, you know. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this and found it useful, please subscribe. I post every day on YouTube. My name's Nick Granville. One of the best things you can absolutely do is if you dig this stuff, just share it with people who you think might get something from it. You know, like I'm growing a community around here, around this whole stuff that I'm doing. If you have anything you want me to cover, let me know in the comments below. Or, you know, if you've got any mods you've done to your guitars, let me know. I'm always into, like, hearing about this sort of stuff and what people do. You know, I steal all these ideas from various people. You know, John Harrington, I remember seeing what he did with one of his guitars, and I went, oh, I'm going to take that. Various people like that. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll play you out on some rock stuff, because that's what this is a rock guitar.